understand me. I wish this jet was on the ground. And it's gonna be an endless flight until we reach the ground tonight. Like a flying bird in the night. The wind is strong, but I hope I'm right. On what will be the end of this endless flight. You look a little pale. Would you like to get a ring from the stewardess?
Yeah, why don't you? I hate flying. I'm not making this sick.
With the stewardess?
Do you have any kind of tranquilizer?
And welcome to the Oddity Archive, the show that needs a double dose of Dramamine just to cross the room. Well, it's viewer request time again, and for reasons not entirely known to me, I have been getting a lot of requests over the last year or so to tackle airline safety videos, especially the older ones. And as is wont to happen, it just so happens that I have to fly out to Minneapolis next week on business. And don't get me wrong, it's on somebody else's dime, and so the flight's paid for, hotels paid for, and all that. But it doesn't change one very simple fact, and that is that I just don't like to travel. And more importantly, I hate flying. Now, I know that, intellectually speaking, that I have probably a better chance of getting hit by a flaming bus driven by Christopher Walken as I do, going down in some sort of air disaster. But it just doesn't make the claustrophobia and the woozy motions and the lack of control and the screaming kids any easier to take. And never mind the damn airport. But, yeah, I think you're gonna find out today why Benny Boy flies only about twice a decade.
Hello and welcome aboard. As we prepare for departure, we ask that you pay close attention to the following important information about this A300 airplane.
Admittedly, I haven't flown as much as a lot of folks, but I'd like to think that I've flown enough in my day. Strangely enough, though, every plane I've ever been on had a real in-person safety demonstration before the flight, as opposed to a video. And these videos have apparently been in production since sometime in the 80s. And have become kind of a big thing in more recent years.
Grab, click, pull. Nice and snug, low across the hips, but not too tight. And to undo your belt, just lift the flap. No sweat.
Anyway, in case you haven't figured it out yet, this episode's gonna be more of a personal therapy session than anything else. Nonetheless, I guess we should at least attempt some sort of history lesson. As best as I can gather, the first for-profit passenger flight took place on January 1st, 1914, with a 23-minute single-passenger trip from St. Petersburg to Tampa, Florida. To the best of my knowledge, there was no pre-flight spiel or in-flight meal. In the late 30s, the first airport bar opened at LaGuardia in New York, becoming the first of its kind to help out uneasy passengers and pilots, but it wasn't enough. In 1952, the de Havilland jet became the first production commercial jet, paving the way for the launch of the Mile High Club and, almost as importantly, the pre-flight safety speech. Anyway, well before the first in-flight passenger safety video was made in the 1980s, the International Civil Aviation Organization had established the, still occasionally revised, legal requirements for the topics to be discussed before all commercial passenger flights. Now, from where I stand, the more recent pre-flight safety videos seem to have just become some sort of contest to see who can produce the weirdest and most excessive, and by turn least educational, video. Good thing I only do the old stuff.
Necessary. Breathe normally and note that oxygen is flowing, so don't worry if the bag doesn't inflate. Be sure to adjust your own mask before helping others.
I've grabbed 2 pre-flight videos, admittedly from the internet, but still, for us to pour over today, and they're both just chock full of 80s and very early 90s goodness. Hey, I know what my audience likes. But anyway, let's get down to business here. This first one comes to us by way of Air Canada, and it dates to 1986. And this is a first for us in archive land because this is the first thing we've ever shown that is bilingual. So I guess it ought to be doubly educational. But anyway, the music on this thing is just some of the most eerie, desolate-sounding stuff that you have ever heard. Because I know that's what I really want to hear when I'm stuck on an airplane. That and a whole lot more fun in store. Let's take a look. Air Canada, pioneer of the corrugated sheet metal motif. Hey, eyes on the road, guys!
At Air Canada, passenger safety is teamwork.
But fixing the soft serve machine is truly a lonely experience.
Your safety within the cabin is the responsibility.
No, it's cool. I can talk and type at the same time, as long as they're not real words.
Les gens de bord sont parfaitement formés et responsables de votre sécurité.
Suddenly I feel like I'm watching a Godard film, at double speed.
Votre collaboration est tout aussi importante.
Please stow your hand luggage securely. Never overload the bins.
With crap like your damn coat.
Jamais, ne surchargez jamais.
You've been a very bad boy. Just for that, I'm confiscating your luggage.
You are part of the team.
That's the 5th one today.
These are the basic steps.
Here's some important stuff that we probably won't discuss in this video. Interesting looking cigarette holder.
When
Oh, great. I suck at these rebus puzzles.
Allume.
refrain from smoking.
Cessez de fumer.
Hey, Borat.
Chair backs and chair tables.
Redressez votre fauteuil.
You know, that looks just like my laptop. Maybe I ought to consider upgrading. Finally, a seatbelt for those of us with 12-pack abs.
Fasten your seatbelt tightly about your hips.
Assuming you're lucky enough to get one of the 3 seats on the plane with working seatbelts.
Fasten the seatbelt. Lift the upper portion.
Pour
So many innuendos, so little time.
pièce qui recouvre la boucle.
Hey, I had no idea airplanes had patio seating back then. Or patios, for that matter. Combi. It's a piece of farm equipment?
These are the locations of the emergency exits.
Looks like the plane had extensions put in. Must be having a midlife crisis.
Endroit. Utilisez la plus proche.
Looks like some random piece of junk I'd have built with my erector set growing up.
A life jacket contained in a pouch is underneath your seat.
Sous votre
Available in teriyaki and nacho cheese.
dans une pochette.
This is how to use it.
Armless mannequins are stored in the overhead compartment. This is the weirdest Tylenol commercial I've ever seen. Why do I get the sinking feeling I'm about to see a cow's eyeball get sliced open?
Inflate the jacket only after you leave the aircraft.
As Belinda Carlisle here will soon demonstrate.
Quittez l'avion.
You had one job, Belinda! Bozo's grand prize game got kinda abstract later on, didn't it?
If an oxygen mask appears, immediately stop smoking and remain seated.
Putting on the mask while smoking may result in you looking like the victim of a Tex Avery gag.
Quickly pull the tubing down and don the mask as shown.
Tirez rapidement.
What, no mask for Bunny Huggins? I see how it is.
Do not remove your mask until advised to do so.
Gardez le masque jusqu'à ce qu'on vous dise de l'enlever.
He seems genuinely bummed that the plane's not going down.
Ways to protect yourself in an emergency.
Vous pouvez vous protéger.
Apparently, armchair yoga helps in an air disaster.
Prior to takeoff, please read the safety card in your seat pocket. Procedures should be fresh in your mind.
Indeed, there may very well be a pop quiz at some point.
Indique les mesures de sécurité. Veuillez en prendre connaissance avant le décollage.
Oh, Tish, I love it when you speak the French.
Your welfare is our concern.
You ain't heavy, you're our brother.
Votre bien-être.
You know, they had to strap camcorders to a dozen trained eagles to get this shot.
You probably don't know that Air Florida flies to Dallas, but at just $124, you'll never forget it. Air Florida. Now everyone can go.
I'm feeling a lot better about flying already. Anyway, today's other pre-flight debriefing comes to us by way of TWA, or Trans World Airlines, which, of course, was a huge airline for a long time. A huge airline that managed to file for bankruptcy 3 times, and was responsible for a lot of air disasters, and has been defunct since 2001. So I guess I dodged a bullet there. But anyway, why don't we take a look at what TWA was serving up for pre-flight entertainment circa 1990.
Some people see a change, others remain the same.
Come on, you knew I was going to get a Michael McDonald reference in here someday. Why, hello, Mr. Minot.
Hello, welcome aboard.
The Rocky Horror Mouth hit some hard times in the
Pay
80s.
close attention to the following important information about the Lockheed 1011 aircraft.
Because chances are, one of you are going to wind up flying this thing.
Them should be securely stowed underneath the seat in front of you, or in the enclosed overhead compartment, leaving all aisles clear.
This way, the staff's mini liquor bottle bowling tournament can go on as scheduled.
Located in the seat pocket in front of you, explains and illustrates the important safety features of this aircraft. This card should be read carefully before takeoff.
Because the Protect and Survive guy put a lot of work into it.
Future passengers. The emergency exits on the 1011 are the 4 doors on the left side of the aircraft and the 4 doors on the right side of the aircraft.
Or you can take the box that Carol Merrill is holding.
Exits nearest you. To operate the door in an emergency,
Pretend that you're a submarine captain.
conditions. Check that the lever is in engage. Remove the plastic cover. Pull the red handle down and hold onto it until the door is fully opened.
Also, make sure that the plane has landed first.
If it does not, pull the red handle located on the door sill.
And if that doesn't work, you're screwed.
Belongings behind. The evacuation slide requires a short jump into the seated position with your arms crossed.
We...
The first people down the slide will remain at the bottom.
I'm not speaking to you, Bridget.
Off. All other passengers
Shall we, Hopak? I think we shall.
distance from the aircraft and remain in a group.
If they landed on the ocean, would that make this a water slide?
7 is equipped with escape path lighting in the cabin floor.
For our cosmic mini liquor bottle bowling tournaments.
All exits are identified by lighted exit signs.
Or tykes, if you're severely dyslexic.
Suddenly, the compartment above your head will open, and an oxygen mask will be within your reach. Extinguish all cigarettes.
Vaping is still totally cool, though.
And place it over your nose and mouth and continue to breathe normally.
Of course, now that you're thinking about it, it won't be so normal, but
And place it over your head.
the Donald Duck with emphysema look will naturally follow.
Plastic tab located on each side of the mask. If you are traveling with a small child, please ensure that your mask is in place, then secure the mask for the child.
'Cause screw the
Oxygen
kids.
flow is controlled by altitude. At lower altitudes, the bag may not be fully inflated.
Nanny nanny boo
A
boo.
slight burning odor may be detected while oxygen is in use.
Mental telepathy is also known to occur.
All seatbelts should be fastened now. To do so, simply insert the flat metal end into the buckle. Adjust the belt so the fit is tight and low.
Remember, the safe word is
Lift
polyester.
up on the top portion of the buckle. A life vest is in a container under your seat. To remove the life vest, pull down on the tab in front of the container. To use the life vest, open the plastic bag by pulling the peel tab. Remove the vest from the plastic pouch and unfold it.
Yeah, like I'd ever give up the only time I'll ever have the whole plane to myself.
Strap loops and pull the vest over your head. Grab the straps under your arms and pull sharply downward until the back flap is fully extended.
Then kiss a talisman, hop on one foot, and perform a Navajo rain dance. Fine, I'll just wait until the narrator lady takes her coffee break.
Life vests are to be inflated just prior to leaving the aircraft.
One of these videos is lying.
Pull sharply downward on the red tabs in the front. The vest may also be inflated by blowing air into the tubes.
The pull tabs can later be repurposed as some kinky pasties.
On this aircraft can be used as flotation equipment.
Though your awesome 1990 shoulder pads should suffice nicely.
And forward. To use, hug the cushion against your chest and place your hands through the straps on the underside of the cushion.
Play ball!
Detailed instructions on the seat cushion as flotation equipment is found on the safety instruction card located in the seat pocket in front of you.
Never mind the extraneous body parts drawn on by previous passengers.
Flights, slide rafts are located in a compartment on each door. To separate the raft from the door, pull the separation handle located on the door sill.
We forgot to mention this earlier.
States federal regulations prohibit smoking on domestic flights scheduled for 6 hours or less.
6 hours being the average smoker's breaking point.
You may only smoke if seated in the smoking sections. Do not smoke in the lavatories.
Unless you've just joined the Mile High Club, then you're allowed a victory smoke.
Also prohibit anyone from tampering with, disabling, or destroying any smoke detectors in an aircraft lavatory. Regulations require passenger compliance with the lighted passenger information signs and posted placards.
Even if it doesn't say Simon Says.
Fasten seatbelt and no smoking signs. Also, place your seat back in its upright position.
I have use of my legs again! Praise the Lord!
If you have any questions on the safety features of the Lockheed 1011,
even robots need cue cards sometimes.
Through the cabin. Thank you for flying Transworld Airlines.
Hey, I found somebody's wallet. Which one of you's D.B. Cooper? Where do I know that name from? Thank you for flying OA Air. We strive to bend, fold, and mutilate your flying experience. Join us next time when our in-flight entertainment will be some really grisly highway safety films. 'Cause that's just how we fly.
Hello, welcome aboard. As we prepare for departure, we ask that you pay close attention.
Grab, click, pull. Grab, click, pull. Grab, click, pull. Grab, click, pull. Grab, click, pull.